All right, so Enoch, unmute your mic and tell me what you meant, okay?
Okay, good evening.
Good
What I meant
evening.
was, you know that GDP card, that GDP card I just said,
Okay.
the second vote of structure that you marked out, you know, your first is demonstrate. That's the one that validated the state is valid or not. Now, there's another vote after the liquidity. You know, this was GDP card was a type 1 settled. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're actually in a noisy place, so you know what to do. You can just mark out what you mean and send to me in my DM on Telegram.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
All right. All right, guys. So let's continue. So for the guy who was talking about confirmation, let's look at a trade that has confirmation. All right, all right, all right. I understand what Enoch was trying to say. Let me just quickly show us. So you are trying to say if there was a sweep this way, okay, in a scenario where is it type 2, I don't remember how you call it, but okay, and there is already a break of structure, all right. Now, when price returns to create structural liquidity, must there be a break of structure the second time? That's what you're trying to ask, right? Type in the chat if it's it. You're trying to ask me if the structural liquidity must also give a candlestick break of structure. All right, all right. It must not give a candle break of structure. As long as it comes very close, there's a type where it just comes very close, or the wick crosses. Most of the times, I just want it to cross, whether it's candle or not, just cross. Most of the times, because it works more than, okay, this is the one where there's a type where it just comes this close and then not no break of structure. Then it still plays out. It's still valid. It's still valid. But just this time it didn't break. But just personally, just for my own self, I like price to break, or even with a week, I like price to cross. Not that I don't take this type, or I do take only when it's necessary, just by my own standards, by my own secrets. When it's necessary, I do take this type. Okay? So, but as long as price crosses this place with the week, if it is your liquidity, your structural liquidity, maybe in this type 2 or something, as long as price crosses this place, whether it's a week, as long as there's already BOS, if the liquidity comes with a week or a break of structure, it doesn't matter. Do you understand? All right, so let me attend to other questions and then we can. So, wonderful. Thank you for expressing what he was trying to say properly. So, are you going to? Yeah, I'm going to drop the record. I'm going to drop the record on Telegram. I'm going to post it this night. So, is there a confirmation entry on lower time frame for QMR or QMC pattern without entering aggressively? Yes, there is confirmation pattern. There is confirmation. The most recent trades, because I wouldn't want to open my journal now, but the most recent trade I can remember where we had confirmation was silver trade, there was confirmation. AUD USD, there was confirmation. This 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 is this is also a this is also a kind of confirmation. This is also a kind of confirmation. So this is also a kind of confirmation. So had it been that price played out everything complete, maybe on the weekly time frame, here on the weekly time frame, let's say here on the weekly time frame, there was a break of structure. So with this confirmation seen, what you're actually supposed to do is to place your buy from that entry, or maybe from this entry that confirmed you. Okay. So what you're actually supposed to do, if there was a break of structure on the high, is you actually place your buy entry from here to this high. Okay, only if there was a break of structure, only if there was a break of structure. Now the confirmation here, whatever happened here that I just showed you guys, would have just been to confirm if, yeah, this trade is actually going to play out here. So whatever happened here would have just been to confirm. But since this is not a complete setup due to lack of break of structure, it will now become a reaction. It will now become a reaction, not a confirmation. So that's the difference between a reaction trade and a confirmation. So a reaction is for an incomplete setup, while a confirmation is for a complete setup. So let's look at a confirmation setup. Let's look for a confirmation. Another thing that confirmation does is it helps you to size down your stop. So initially, your stop would have just been maybe your stop would have just been maybe from there, from the POI to this low. So this would have been the size of your stop loss. So, but this would have made it a little bit smaller in some situations, just because if your confirmation is correct, when price invalidates your confirmation, it's going to take out this low. I'm very sure of that. If there is no problem with this confirmation, if price breaks this confirmation low, it's going to take out this low. All right, so on to the next. So let's look for a proper confirmation trade. So I think I took one some days, maybe some weeks ago. All right, guys. So can you hear me, please? There was a little bit of interruption, but everything is fine. So let me look for the trade where I had the confirmation. Where was it? Where was it? Ah, it's too far. It's too far. Is there anyone I can remember? Okay, AUD USD. Yeah. I think there was one on AUD USD some days ago. Some months ago, not days. It's 4 hour. Let's check 4 hour. AUD USD. Okay, let's look at this. I've explained this trade before. I've explained this trade before. So I'll just go straight to the point. No need for long formalities. So you see here that there's a sweep, there's a low here. There's a low here. Okay. And price sweeps this low. Now price creates a break of structure. Now there is liquidity, and not just liquidity, proper liquidity Okay, so price returns and wants to buy. All right, so let's see what actually happened here. So here we actually have this POI on daily time frame. We actually have this POI on daily time frame. Who's asking questions? All right, I'm going to show the UJ trade. That means we have to be fast. I've already explained confirmations on my Twitter. Is there. So we shouldn't actually waste time. It's just similar to what happened on GBP card. And this is not even a straightforward example, but let me just show you how it's supposed to be from here. So look at it. So this is the POI. So since this is a daily setup, or I think it was appearing on the weekly time frame as of then, it appeared on the weekly time frame. So yeah, you can see there's a low here. Though this type of structure, I call it candle theory. It's hard to read, but if you actually understand market structure, it will take you about 3 months or 2 months to actually get your eyes used to it. You can see this low and this high. The moment price went below that low, it became a sweep. It might be hard for you to spot. So it's not always every time that you are looking for a V shape for you to know there was a low or a high. It's not always every time you wait for a V shape. Okay? It's not always every time you wait for a V shape. So if you learn candle theory properly, and I'll be teaching candle theory in Rebirth. If you learn candle theory properly, you'll be able to assess higher time frame superiority always. So this may not look like a sweep to you. When you check for higher time frame here, you may not see a sweep, but there's actually a sweep. If you look very well, you see that price reached this high, and only by candles it created a low here and another high. And for the fact that price came below that low, it becomes a sweep. It's that simple. And this is the highest high. So once price came above here with candles, it became a break of structure. It's called candle theory, and it is my concept. Okay, so and also there is liquidity. Okay, there's liquidity. Now since this trade appears on weekly time frame, that means weekly correlates with 4 hours, so you should go to 4 hour to look for your confirmation entries. So now I'm going to tell you guys a trick. When you want to select your POI, when you want to select your POI, select the higher time frame POI. So if there's no POI on weekly time frame, track from weekly and go downwards. So if POI does not appear on weekly time frame, most likely a POI will appear on daily time frame. And you pick a daily time frame POI over a 4 hour POI, except in some extreme scenarios. And also you pick 4 hour POI over 1 hour POI. So higher time frame always rules the chart. It always tells you what to do. So sometimes you see POI on 4 hour, you refine, go down to you go down to 1 hour, yeah, refining, and price will just come close to your entry and just come very, very close and leave. It's because you are not using the right POI. You are not using the right POI. So the next thing you do is you look for your confirmation on 4 hour. Now, there is a little bit of a different case here, but I just want you to learn the confirmation. Now, when this is exactly how my confirmations play out. When I see when I see my trade, when I see my trade on higher time frame, so you see a sweep, a break of structure, and then what? Price returns to this place. And let me assume that your POI, you are using a QMR here. Okay, you're using a QMR. After, because of what happened here now, I'm going to tell you another important trick in selecting your POI. This will be your best free session. I'm going to tell you another important trick in selecting your POI. Now, okay, because price has returned to your POI, all you need to do is go to lower time frame. If it is weekly, go to 4 hour for confirmation. Look for the same pattern or any type 1, type 2, type 3 that is accurate according to my theory. No algo trap. No trap. Make sure that your confirmation is not a trap. Sometimes the confirmation is just a trap. Price will just return and it will fail. I'm not telling you this thing to take away your confidence. It is for you to find out what works. It is to increase your confidence, because if you know that, this is why this confirmation will hold and this is why this confirmation will not hold, you will see yourself taking the right trades. You take 5 trades, you are winning 3. Because what? You know what you should not do. Sometimes it's not always about knowing what you should do, knowing what is correct. Sometimes you need to know what is not correct. So when price returns here, you also need to see price play the same pattern on lower time frame. Sweep, break of structure, liquidity, and what? When price returns here, it will buy all the way to the high, as long as there's no problem with that confirmation, or as long as there's no problem with the trade. It will buy all the way to the high, or at least it will buy very, very close into premium. So if my stop loss for this trade was going to be this big, direct impulsive entry that might even fail from the POI to this place, confirmation entry will help you to size down your stop straight to this low. So this becomes your new protected low. Why? Because it is your confirmation low. It's as simple as that. Okay, so let me look at this question before we continue. Draw type 1, type 2, and type 3. All right. So this is how to pick your confirmations. This is how to pick your confirmations. It's calling me. So this is how you pick your confirmations. All right. So that's that. Now, for this setup now, since price has tapped into our POI, I want you to forget whatever happened here. I just want you to see the confirmation. So look at this. Since price tapped into our POI, what happened? We saw a sweep, right? We saw a sweep. Price swept this. Price came back, gave us a break of structure on 4 hour. And price gave us proper liquidity and break of structure. Now, this is a very good confirmation. 90 out of 100 times, this will work. Guys, has it been long since I disconnected?
Couple of minutes, like 1 or 2, and the recording
Okay.
stopped.
All right, okay. What's the last thing you heard?
Talking about the confirmations.
All right. So, did you see this when I do all this?
Your screen is not showing.
My screen is not showing. All
No,
right.
no,
Let me
not on my
share. Let me
end.
share. Uh, can you see me now?
It's still loading.
You can see it now.
Okay, it's showing now.
All
Yes,
right.
yes.
So were you there when I drew all this? I hope the previous recording has not gone out.
It's currently showing recording in my screen.
Yeah, it's recording now. Okay. Thank you. Connection is unstable.
But the previous one stopped. So the previous one stopped.
Yeah, but the problem is whether it's saved. So I do not know. All right, just mute. So we'll continue. Did you guys see when I drew all this? Well, let's just go over it. So when
Yes,
price
yes,
tapped,
yes.
all right. So when price tapped into this POI, we just needed to see a sweep, another let price sweep it again, Just repeat the same thing. Just like I told you, when price comes there, repeat either type 1, type 2, or type 3. Okay? Price should just repeat type 1, repeat type 2, or repeat type 3. Okay? So we're just studying these things and what happened there and why these things are accurate, why these things happen consistently. So you just see this is type 1. Okay? This is type 1 confirmation. Price does what? Creates a sweep, a break of structure, liquidity. Okay, type 2, a break of structure before liquidity. And then what? Price is supposed to return here and tap into this other block and buy. But then there is a small problem with this confirmation. So, and I talked about this in the last video I made, but I know a lot of you will just ignore, okay. Anyhow, but you still see that, okay, due to the how correct this trade is, price just took out the problem and continued to buy. Okay, price just dealt with the issue and continued to buy. But on a normal circumstance, this is a very, very good confirmation. On a normal circumstance, this is a very, very good confirmation. So if you see a trade on higher time frame, all you need to do is go to lower time frame, look for the same thing, wait for price to do the same thing, and then you get your entry. Finish. It's not that sad. Who is unmuted? Phoenix X's. Alright, so that's that. So should we proceed to the USD JPY? Is there anything you don't understand about this? Type in the chat. If you guys are clear, you can just say clear in the chat. If you have a question, you drop a question. So that will continue. Alright, since there's no question, we can just continue. So the next is USD JPY. Is Enoch still here? Right, this is the last convention you talked about. Imitini, Imitini, I cannot tell you that though. Is it what actually happened here?
Yes, yes.
It's not something I can say in public, okay? But
It's
it's
premium.
is yes, it's premium. It's actually called an algo trap, okay? It's my concept. It's called an algo trap. So it's, it's some of the things that when I say if I show you things on chat you won't believe is what happened here is part of it. So there are things I call algo trap. So things I've tested over time and they work. So that is kind of some of the reason why you see your setup that you believe, this setup must play out and it just fails. You're wondering why, you're just looking for why it fails. This is one of them. Okay. So I know why this setup failed. So so sometimes you see some of the setups you see in um other places. I will come on the channel and say this setup will fail, and I'll say don't take this trade. But because you too, you in your own self, maybe you've probably checked the trade and you feel it's correct, but you don't know that what separates you and I is actually knowledge. I know something that you don't, so that's why I can tell you that a setup will fail and it will fail. So it's called an algo trap. Should we move to the USD JPY? Who asked the USD JPY question? I hope he's still here. Who? You know they write notes. If you've not been writing what I was saying, you are making a serious mistake. Oh. Okay, well, I'll drop the video. I'll drop the video. All right, Enoch is still here. All right, let's go to USD JPY. Okay, let's go to USD JPY. All right. Okay. I already spotted. This is the one you're talking about, right? This is the trade you're talking about. This is if this is it the one I posted in the morning or yesterday? I think it was yesterday. This is the trade, right? All right, all right. Let's talk about this. Okay. So I want to actually tell you, if you study a lot, what happened here is one of the easiest tricks you can discover. Now, I'm going to teach you something that, all right, because you guys are the first people to attend my session. All right. So let me round it up. Because you guys are the first people, that's why I will tell you something like this here. It's actually premium, but let me just say what's happened here. Okay, so this is 4 hour time frame. So let's check 1 hour and let's see where the setup appeared. All right. Now let me teach you a little bit of candle theory here. Just a little bit. Now, for purpose of knowledge, there is a sweep here. There is a sweep here. Okay. So there is actually this low here and there is this high. But if you don't know candle theory, you may not just know that there is actually a low there. And price actually does what? Pulls below it. So automatically, price has created a sweep. Now, all you need is a break of structure and to be sure that you are going to be trading there and you would have had a good buy there. So, okay, so this is your what? Your liquidity and then what? Break of structure. So initially, this is supposed to be a proper buy from POI, bam, drop, give you TP and your money. Okay, so if you actually want to see whether this is actually a sweep, drop down to 30 minutes and check, and you'll see what I'm trying to show you. There's actually a sweep here. So this is it. So the one you might have known from YouTube, they say make sure it's V-shaped and all of that. But sometimes on higher time frame, that's why higher time frame superiority is very trickish. You may just check 1 hour for superiority and you feel there is no sweep there. So it does not observe the setup. It's not true. There's actually a sweep there. Okay. So these are the things that I'll be showing you from February in rebate. So when I say make sure you make it into rebate, it's not because I just want you to come and attend mentorship and all these things. There are reasons why it is premium. It is things that it shows that these are things you really want to know, and that's why you are there. Okay. So things like this are called the secrets of structure and liquidity. Okay, so everybody trades, most people just trade basic. So your trading patterns, you just see a low, price sweeps the low, a break of structure, liquidity, and then what? Your entry. Anywhere you see something like this, you are looking for a trade. It is wrong. So secrets of structure and liquidity will tell you this is when to and this is when not to. Okay. So how did I know that this complete perfectly played pattern on 30 minutes or 15 minutes will not work? How did I know that this will not work? Now, there is something else called broker comparison, but I think we'll talk about it next time. So, looking at this, if we continue talking here, I might even say everything I didn't want to say. Okay, looking at this, you've seen a sweep and then what? A break of structure, or you even look at this as a sweep, as your sweep, break of structure and liquidity. Now, I want to tell you that this is a valid POI, yes, but anytime that your protected low appears in a trend line, anytime your protected low appears in a trend line, this is one of the easiest secrets of structural liquidity I discovered. It was one of the, I think it was the third or the fourth. Okay, so anytime your protected low appears in a trend line, when price breaks that trend line, it is no longer a protected low. It becomes what? Liquidity. So this is what? This is what? Liquidity. Okay, so this is liquidity. It's no longer protected. This is liquidity. Whatever is here is liquidity. So the moment price stacked up from your protected high and kept on what resisting from this trend line. The moment price breaks out of it, your protected high becomes liquidity. So that's how I knew that this trade was never gonna play out. So, and if you're not sure, you head down. Sometimes you head down to the lower time frame, like on 1 hour. You may not be sure if it's in line with trend line. You can just check with things like 15 minutes, 30 minutes. So you see, this was never going to play out. So next time I'm going to show you more examples of this particular one. So anytime your protected low or your protected high, likewise, everything I've been saying here is vice versa, because I've just been showing you by examples. It also applies to sales. It also applies to sales. So anytime your protected low or your protected high appears in a trend line, it becomes liquidity. It's no longer protected. So yeah, so that's that. And always remember, I'll never tell you a lie on chat. All right, so that's that for today. So finally, I want to tell you that if you actually want to go far in trading, you need to be studying. You need to be studying. I've been trading for 3 years, and 90% of what I know, nobody taught me. All right, I've been trading Forex particularly for about 2 years plus. I've been trading Forex for about 2 years plus, and most of these things, I discovered them by myself. So you need to actually study a lot if you want to make it in trading. Okay, so that's that. And for your year, make sure you make it into rebate. It's not a promotion. It's not a promotion. This is facts. You will be there, and you will see the people that will attend, and you will see how they will be. So this is not a promotion. Make it into rebate. It is a goal. Make it into rebate. All right, so, and it starts February 9th. So get ready before that time. So all our meetings will also be on Zoom, and it will be recorded sessions, free bonus sessions. All right, I've always been posting about it in the channel. So if you want more information, you should check the pinned messages. So I'll stop sharing at this point. So I believe I've added a little bit of spice in your game. All right, guys. See you next time.